Hello, all. This is Gayathri Balaji, and you are at the Inner Shift Studio. Today is special. Today is different. This is my first ever interview podcast. For the first time since starting this podcast series on Inner Shift Studio, I'm not alone in this space. I have someone with me and not just anyone. You know those people in your life who've known you before you became who you are now, since your childhood. I have someone like that in today's podcast. She's my senior from school and college. She's the person I fondly call Akka, and she fondly calls me Guy with so much love and warmth. She's also a force of nature, a woman entrepreneur who turned her passion for nature, beauty, and life into a thriving business. She runs a flower boutique, Ferns and Petals in Coimbatore. And if you're in and around Coimbatore, you definitely must know her. And if you've ever received flowers that made your heart feel something, she understands that magic. And with Valentine's Day just around the corner, who would be the best person other than her to talk about her love flowers? Because flowers aren't just flowers to her, they are moments, they are apologies, they are celebrations, they are I love you when words aren't enough, they are I'm thinking of you across distances, and they are life itself, blooming and absolutely worth it. I'm so incredibly proud and honored to introduce to you today Akila Chandrasekar. Akka, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting me and saying yes to my first ever interview podcast. Thank you for being you. You're someone who's built something beautiful literally with your own hands. I mean, literally. Someone who understands both the business of life and the beauty of it. Welcome to the Inner Shift Studio, Ka. What do you have to say for us?
Thank you, Guy, for this very lovely, warm introduction. Let me also congratulate you for the wonderful work you're doing. The small, tiny girl that I saw to the confident woman you've turned into. So damn proud of you. And the feeling is mutual. Thank you so much for choosing me to be your first guest.
Thank
It's
you,
an
Ka.
honor and privilege that I will always cherish.
Thank you so
And
much, Ka. Thank you
sending
so
you
much.
lots of luck and good wishes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ka, for these warm wishes. Deep gratitude to you. And let's just begin with I just want you to think back to the very first time you realized you wanted to work with flowers, not when you decided to open Ferns and Petals, but the first time flowers meant something more than just flowers to you, Ka. Can you take me back to that moment?
Let me just to brief you, guy. It was it all started in around 2008 when a bunch of college friends we met for lunch. Krishnamal College, BBM girls. That time we were young mothers, so it's like all of us were held up with those duties, and then or these social media, the groups just happened. You got connected to that time it was Facebook, and we just got connected to each other and we met for lunch. So it was Satya, my BBM classmate. She was running a small store called Aura Flora.
Okay.
Then she hardly had time to look into it. She wanted to do something big. So, why not we do it together? It began over lunch, a small conversation that finally, when doing together, why not do something big?
Okay.
That's how Ferns and Petals was just the a branded company then. And why not Ferns and Petals? Then Sangeeta, she was also a common our college friend. And so three of us, yeah, it was just over a lunch, and then the flower shop just bloomed. Yeah,
Oh,
so like as you say, I'm really grateful to Satya for bringing me into this beautiful business of flowers, which started as a small store, a passion.
okay.
It
That's
was just
beautiful.
like when children were very small, and then you were Aditya was just like 5 years old. He started going to school, and then Atti was looking after the house. So I had ample time on my hands.
Okay.
So just like okay, like a passion. I used to drop the boys at school and then
Okay.
come and sit in the store.
Okay. That's so
Just like
beautiful, Ka.
that as a passion. That's how Aura Flora.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So it was Aura Flora and Ferns and Petals later.
Ferns and Petals. And now we took Aura Flora as a franchisee of Ferns and Petals. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So I love how that moment stayed with you all these years, Ka. I
Uh,
think of flowers have this way of making our most important memories. And it sounds like for you, that wasn't just a moment, it was a calling you couldn't ignore.
yeah.
So,
I would like to. I was also looking into something that I can contribute. I was thinking if I can do a laundry store or a franchisee, something which I
okay.
can do it all by myself with with the technical know-how the company provides. It's not much hassle. So my
Okay.
I was like, I'm being married into a big family. I was asking everybody's opinion. So
Okay.
my sister-in-law Shamlaka, she now a few years back, she was telling me, see how you wanted to be in between dirty clothes, but God has put you in yeah, amidst flowers.
That's a
So
nice way of
that's
taking this. Beautiful, beautiful.
yeah.
That's lovely.
These are some moments which you will always
Yes, Ka,
cherish.
that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
Any
yeah.
business is good business, provided we have a passion and love for it.
Yeah.
And when you tell people you run a flower shop, what do they assume about your journey, Ka? Like, what's that part of your
Um,
story that always surprises them?
Initially, like when we had some guests come home for giving wedding invites, our close cousins. That was the time when Atti, my mother-in-law, told them she's gone to the flower store. I
Okay,
wasn't at home. It was like 15 years ago.
okay.
So they asked her directly, uh, "What your daughter-in-law flower store? What does she want? Like, are we that she has to run a flower store to bring money into the family or Shanmo kondu pulleki pookadengla?" The
True, true.
same dialogue.
Exactly.
When I came home, Ati was telling me all of them are asking that if I had stopped it then, I wouldn't be sitting in front of you today. It was just that pure passion, perseverance, patience that really keeps us going.
Yes.
And now you are doing an excellent job in that guy. So
Aka,
I'm like,
thank you so
uh,
much. Deep gratitude.
uh,
Thank you, Ka. I love that. People always think they know the story, actually. Don't they? Like, but there is always like so much more beneath the surface. So I'm glad you're
exactly.
sharing. Yeah, I'm glad you're sharing the real version, the one that doesn't fit into neat little boxes. So it's a raw version of what you've shared, Ka. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, people judge us the way we do something.
Yeah.
Yes. And especially when you're from a family like this, yes, of course, if you do something like this, there are questions, judgments, always there. Ka. And the one more question I wanted to ask was if you weren't doing this, if ferns and petals didn't exist, what do you
Mhm.
think you'd be doing? And do you ever wonder about that version of yourself?
I really didn't give it a thought, guy, because enjoy this so much. It's like if I have to go to the store, I am really charting out things, doing the puja room, doing all that extra bit, which the store is my calling. So
Okay.
before going to the store, I don't want to leave any unfinished work here. It's
Okay.
made me more productive,
So you haven't
something that
thought
you
about
look forward. I really haven't given it a thought.
even if
Maybe
so, that's
uh,
nice.
it was something that I so loved dearly that I didn't even think of another alternative.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's such an honest answer, Ka.
Uh,
I think we all have parallel lives living somewhere in our minds. So I thought you might have one, but I'm grateful you chose this path, not just for you, but everyone whose lives have been touched by what you create, Ka. So that is what is more valuable than anything else, Ritika.
Every journey comes with its hiccups.
Yes,
That is something which you have to, a road bump which you have to endure. You have to cross it over.
true.
We started in 2010,
Okay.
and it's been 16 years, and
Wow.
such a roller coaster it is, guy.
Wow.
When we
We'll dive
started,
into all those roller
mm,
coaster moments as we explore the journey. So, uh, is there a moment every entrepreneur faces where they are completely alone, getting into one roller coaster moment now with a decision no one else can make for them? See, you are left alone. What
yeah.
was yours, and what did you wish if anybody was there with you, or like a decision where you had to make for yourself without anybody? Until then there were people around us, father, mother, somebody was there, but when you're into the entrepreneurial journey and you're alone, what was like something that you had to decide for yourself, Ka?
Should I continue this journey? That was the biggest
Oh,
decision that I had to make it on my own.
okay.
The first year, Sangeeta, when we went to Delhi to meet Mr. Pavan Gadia, I so clearly remember the CEO of Ferns and Petals Delhi. We had a 3 day workshop there before you take franchisee. You had to go meet and get trained in Delhi for three days. It was initially then.
Okay.
Now it's like everybody can take it. It is not the norms are not as it was then. I remember when we went to meet him, he was like, three girls taking up, we will see how long you all will survive because
Okay.
I have seen it all. And
Okay.
then after the first year, Sangeeta got busy with her a lot of stores. She was doing business on her own. So it was only Satya and me.
Okay.
And then we ran the store in GD. It was
Okay.
in a
Yeah, I know
small
that
200,
place. Yeah.
200 square feet where hot chocolate, back then it was very famous. They defaulted in paying rent.
Okay.
So they didn't want, just because one store, they didn't want the whole lot. They wanted to redo the campus fully.
Okay.
So it was just 5 years. We were just 5 years new,
Okay.
and we were asked to vacate. The goodwill built and the reputation, you everything was at stake. So when we were asked to leave with the 3 months notice, we had to.
Okay.
So, but we had the determination. Let us do, because it was something very nice.
Okay.
So when we walked down Avanashi Road, there was two options. There was one Sarani auntie, a big uh, house like that. She was all by herself. A big palatial house, Narasimha Mills. They
Mm.
had this space for baby world upstairs.
Okay.
Downstairs, there was this play area which was
Okay.
vacant.
Okay.
So I will forever remain in gratitude to her, because those words, when we went and asked her, she told me, two girls, you all are doing something all by yourself. But if you all want to, you all can build it here. You take this place.
Oh, wow.
But build something removable, because this is going to my grandson. It
Okay.
is, she was very clear with that. So we built a store for all the 5 years of dedication and work. What we did, we built a small flower store,
Okay.
and then, as usual, another major auntie had succumbed to.
Okay. So that was a very major decision you had to make on your own, isn't it, Ka?
It was a major decision, and Satya was very apprehensive. Why are we putting in all our
Okay.
energy, time for something which we don't get back? See, with
Okay.
flowers, it's not monetary. Monetary is, luckily,
Okay.
I'm not the breadwinner of the family. So that was in the last priority.
Okay. Okay. So thank
For
you for
me,
sharing that, Ka. Beautiful.
it was honestly, I got to know more people, the joy of giving,
Exactly.
sharing happiness, the confidence that I earned, the goodwill,
Okay.
meeting people, seeing smiling faces, and the livelihood of five, six people around me.
Yeah,
That mattered more than the,
exactly.
and eventually, yeah, that was a major decision if we
You
had
had to
to
make, okay, all by
continue.
yourself. Okay. So that kind of loneliness when you're standing at the crossroads and no one can walk that path for you, it's something
Yeah,
every entrepreneur knows but rarely talks about. You honestly will help so many people feel less alone after they watch this podcast in their own moments like that, Ka. I'm sure there are so many people who are watching this will definitely take it from you that every entrepreneur has a difficult journey. So did you want for someone to give you the permission to start this business because, or did you just take it, Ka? And
it
if you,
was in my it
yeah,
was in my calling.
okay, okay,
Certain things you say this gut instinct, or we
exactly.
have it in us where you rise up to the pressure, or some things you want when the soul knows its way,
Yeah,
as they say.
yeah.
So it was like I knew I loved flowers. I knew I shouldn't give up. It
Okay.
was I should say it was always something that you enjoyed. It wasn't forced upon you. So I knew
So that is where you
I
found
had
that
to hang in.
audacity to continue, right, Ka? So that
I
inner
knew I
calling,
had to hang in. Yeah.
that inner
Uh,
calling. Yeah.
that inner calling.
Mhm.
You will guide, you will know. I
Yeah.
am finding it difficult to explain, but
I know. Get it, that car. Yes, that inner calling, that gut instinct varies from person to person. Like
person,
each
but
one
each
has a
one of
different
us,
calling.
yeah,
Yeah, you've got
yeah,
to
yeah,
listen to that inner voice. So they
yeah.
always say, I've heard this quote, like when you're surrounded by the external voice, you can't listen to the inner voice. So shut down all the external noise. So that's exactly where you have been, and you've listened to your inner calling. That's so powerful, Ka. Because I think many of us, especially women, are waiting for someone to tell us we are allowed to do something.
Mm.
Okay, now you can do this, you can go do this, but you decided for yourself. And I
Our
hope,
generation, guy, it was not anymore. Now
yeah,
girls
of
are
course,
all
it's
ready.
not anymore. So I hope everyone who's listening from our generation, maybe sometimes the only permission you need is the one you give yourself. That
Very
was what
true, very
I
true.
feel. I feel that like, and everyone talks about the risk of entrepreneurship, the money, the time, the
Yeah.
uncertainty. But what did it cost you that you didn't expect? What did you have to let go of that no one ever warned you about? Something that you had to let go because of this entrepreneurial journey.
I had to let go of a lot of social commitments
Okay,
and all. That was like something I am like, I would love to attend every function, and being married into a large family.
exactly.
There, when you have a nice gathering or anything, and when you're stuck up with work, you
True.
will want to always go and have a blast. But work was calling, you had taken an order for something and you had to deliver. And this, especially, your presence matters a lot. It is something you cannot delegate. It is not a fixed package like you can manufacture and send. It is
Yeah.
not machine made.
Mm.
It is a field of creativity where but touchwood, people around me can execute my thoughts.
Yeah, I'm coming
God's
to that
blessed me.
later. I do want to know about the personal also, Carl. I'm having questions related to that as well. And those social commitments, yes, of course, when the entire family is
It's
having
not
a blast.
social. It's not the social thing. It's all those nice birthday events.
Ah,
It's
exactly.
all those
Family together moments.
families.
Yes.
But this business, or which I am into, it is not very pressurizing, guy. I
Okay.
didn't have I didn't have sacrifice the parent teacher meeting, the
Okay.
school get
Wow.
togethers, the annual days.
So lovely.
I never missed out on the boys growing up.
Yeah.
That that is something I'm very, very grateful for, because those are the memories that now you cling on to, right? Like when
Yes,
they
yes,
are
definitely. Yeah, we shouldn't miss those
uh,
tiny moments with the children, and I'm
though
so happy.
the mommy moments I didn't miss.
Okay, that's so beautiful.
And,
The mommy moments. Yes, I love that. I love that. So that's the part no one prepares for. Actually, as an entrepreneur, the hidden costs. There are some hidden
yeah,
costs. People always see money, the other things, but there
yeah.
are certain hidden costs like
Hidden
this.
cost.
So
The
some,
mean moments maybe I would have missed. The
yeah,
mean
true.
that
Yes.
maybe, yeah, but
So
nothing that I
sometimes
regret of.
Okay, that's beautiful. Thank you for being so real about that, because that's what people need to hear before they start this journey. So once they get into the journey, they'll just be prepared for something like this, because when you get
You
into as an
will
entrepreneur,
eventually figure out, guy. You
yes,
will eventually. There is no question paper.
yes,
It's not a
exactly.
fixed question paper.
Yeah,
But
each
you,
one's
when you are passionate about something, you will eventually figure out, and the puzzle just fits.
true. Beautiful, Ka. Wonderful. That's lovely. That's lovely. So, has there been a moment when you thought, like, I can't do this anymore? Or what were you actually feeling in that moment? And what made you stay? This answer could be for everybody who's watching this podcast. So, I just want you to share your moments if you had anything at all. Only if you had
I
something.
really, I must say, when auntie was no more,
Okay.
Sarani auntie was no more, and our lease was expiring. Her
Okay.
grandson's a wonderful guy, but he was working in Facebook, America. And
Okay.
all this tenants and rental pressures was not his cup of tea. And he is such a very grounded, soft boy. He prefers a Fiat car than a Benz car.
Oh,
So
okay.
the memories, the house, it mattered more than the rental income it was generating.
Okay.
So he was kind enough to tell us, until the lease you stay, auntie. After that, I want the space back as it was, like the good old times,
Okay.
without the building, without the extra. It was just, yeah, and it was to be respected, guy, because he was very genuine, and
Yeah.
he didn't want any hassles in the property, as he wasn't in town also, which was a very, very genuine, and I honor that time what he gave us also. I was like broken, shattered, and I was sitting in the store asking God for help. That was the only thing, because Satya had already given up. She was like, "Let's just leave it now.
Okay.
It's like no point
In
hearing
continuing.
after that." Yeah.
Okay.
Then that is the one time when I really prayed hard. It
Okay.
was like when it was do or die situation, you had to give up.
Okay.
And Patti uncles here help. He's a very, very nice guy.
Okay.
He came for gift wrapping
Okay.
to the store.
Okay.
That time, he just we just mentioned, we do you we have to shift again. That is when he told us, Lakshmi Mills, they are building, there's a space there, why not you request? And it was the most happening. That is when West Side was there, and
Um,
then Lulu just happened, and
okay.
it was the most happening mall in the city.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
he was gracious enough to go, and when he was serving meals to Pati uncle, he mentioned about us, and
Okay.
he was interested because a flower shop at the entrance will make a very good ambience to there. It
Yeah.
was a win-win situation for
For
both of
both.
us. Yeah. And they had a building for their office space.
Okay.
at the entrance.
Okay.
They made it into half and they gave us the half.
That's so
And
gracious.
that is how
Okay.
now we are in the Lakshmi Mills Urban Center.
That's a happening
That
place,
is the
and it's
power.
in the right in the middle of the city, and
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
And for all the years that you've been doing, to say you're running a flower shop in the Lakshmi Mills Urban Center, you feel something you earned it, good about it.
Exactly. Yeah, true, true. Yeah, but
That is,
I should just congratulate you because you didn't quit car. And that's what people actually want to hear. See, that was a very difficult moment for you when you had to shift from one store to the other, and then from that store, you didn't even know where to go. And there's somebody
going to do.
somewhere who
Yeah.
comes. I always feel this car. There's somebody in disguise, they come as God and give us some more better
On,
opportunities.
yeah,
So,
honestly, and the bridge work happened, Guy. If we had
so
stayed there also, we couldn't have run the
exactly.
stores.
So this has been a
Bridge
very
work
beautiful
happened. Yeah,
opportunity.
it
Exactly.
is
Yeah.
a blessing in disguise. Sometimes you just
Yeah.
the curve is for the better view. That is
True,
what they
true, Ka.
say.
Yes,
You just
yes.
have
Well
to
said.
keep moving. Yeah.
So
This
that
is
thought of
I would like to.
yeah, the curve is not like it's not the end, right, Ka? Yes, rightly said by you. So it's what like you do after that thought that defines you. So you had a breaking moment, and what you did after that is what has defined you and what has made you what you are doing today. And you're choosing to stay. Actually, that's a beautiful thing. I should applaud you for whatever you're doing now and for that decision that you made to get back into the business. And when did it stop being a dream? So, like you had a dream for passion for flowers, and when did that become real? Ka? Was it like take back to us when you started the first boutique? Was there a specific moment when you looked around and thought, "This is actually happening? Is this mine?" So you must have been something like that.
Ah, you won't believe, Guy. I must share a picture also. Ennam Tata was there then. He
Okay.
will always encourage all of us to do something,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
So I casually, before starting anything, you will want to take his blessings as
Okay.
I just mentioned to him that we are opening a small flower store.
Okay.
And on that day, I could just not imagine he made time to step into the store and bless us.
Wow.
That was an awe moment that I will forever cherish.
Wow.
And that was one learning. However busy you can be, you can always find time for others to make them feel so good.
Yeah.
That is one lesson I will always keep it in mind, Guy.
Yes.
Such a man of noble gesture. It wasn't
Uh,
even necessary for him to come at that time
exactly. Yeah.
to
Yeah. Yeah.
inspire the three ladies, three young girls. Then now I feel it is my responsibility to just give back what I received. So I remember him with utmost gratitude
Mhm.
for
True. Yeah.
that
So for a man of such kind of noble, the man he was,
stature.
the man he's still remembered by all of us.
Yeah,
It means so much to us, isn't it, Ka? So we should also try to be that humble and that grounded in our
yes.
future journeys, I hope. And this is, I'm getting chills actually hearing this. So when you said he stepped into the boutique, I was like, oh wow, that's so beautiful of him to come and honor. He didn't mind about whether it's a small business, whether it's a
Mhm.
huge thing, nothing about that. So he just came for you and for the way you are.
And it wasn't even an invite. I just went to
Okay.
take his blessings because I knew, in spite of his schedule will not permit him for all this. So you won't want to trouble somebody for a small,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was a very big moment. Yeah. So
That's
it is
amazing.
one lesson that you, I'm forever grateful to Mangla Tata and Dr. Mridubhashni and Karnambati did the honors.
Okay.
So Ati and Amma were very supportive. So I am in this juncture in life. I am so grateful for all these ladies.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Family,
Yeah,
yeah.
family and
And
beyond
I'm,
family.
yeah, my family. And they were anything I do. The first time we did something big, Anita took us all out for a surprise dinner, including Satya's family.
Okay,
All these moments will forever be cherished, guys.
okay,
All
that's so nice.
perks of running a flower store. All these are
Yeah,
perks.
yeah. That's so nice. So, what's that like one advice someone gave you that you completely ignored, Kap, and you regret it? It's not some advice. We usually take people's advice. Is there anything like somebody gave it like an advice, and you ignored that advice? Maybe do you regret it? Or are you glad you trusted yourself instead of listening to that advice?
My cousins were all asking, பூ கடையா பாக்கெட் மணிக்காச்சும் வருமா அப்படின்னு. It was like very, very, all of them were joking about and asking, and it was an elderly aunt also.
Okay.
I'm glad I ignored that, yeah, because it wasn't about money at all, guys. Money, maybe eventually it will, but the calling is more important. And whatever you do it with dedication, and you give it your all. At
Mm.
the end, at least you will feel that you gave it your all. The satisfaction, the
Yeah.
contentment you get is priceless. So,
Beautiful. Ka.
you don't have to think about the monetary part, is what I
True.
sincerely advise.
Love
Everything
that.
will eventually come.
Love the way you're bringing the podcast like more and more energy. And people who are listening, just listen to what she said. It's not about the money. It's not even about the money. So just do it with your full, give your full, and everything
Yeah,
will be taken care of. Money is a byproduct of whatever
I
you
thought
do. Yeah.
very true, very true.
Yes, I love that you trusted yourself over everyone else's opinions, Ka. Like, I know people how they judge for what we do. If it's a small thing, why do you want to do it? And things like that. That takes so much courage, actually, to ignore that piece of advice that somebody gave you, because sometimes the best advice is the advice we don't take, actually, Ka, when we listen to our
Honestly,
own inner knowing, inner calling instead. So that's so amazing of you to ignore people.
that's one.
Yeah,
That's one thing also, guy. Now it's like now that you want to do it. Now that I've crossed 50, it's like you have to you have to learn the art of giving now. Now that you've taken, you have to give it to everybody, including the universe.
exactly.
You have to be,
That's so profound, Ka. You have to be in the giving phase now.
yeah.
Get that.
The graphotherapy, also, when you asked me, are you interested? It was like, I wanted to do it for you, Guy. Honestly, to tell you, I
Thank you.
wanted to encourage you, so I wanted to do it for you. But the day I started, I realized I'm doing it for myself.
Oh, that's
The,
so beautiful, Ka. That's so profound. Thank you so
it's
much for trusting in me. You always trust me for whatever I do.
honestly, I still remember our Avnash Lingam days
That's
where
so
we were
those
roommates.
memories,
Yeah,
beautiful
very nice
memories.
memories. Yeah, and now
So
so firmly believe that if the connection, you will be with the right people.
yeah.
That is what a friend of mine blessed me when she wished me happy birthday.
Okay.
May you be surrounded with the right people.
Oh, wow.
So
What
that
a
was
wish
a
that is.
blessing. Yeah, that
Ah, what
I,
a profound wish that is. Amazing.
yeah.
Amazing. So, is there any question like everyone asks you about your business that you wish they stop asking? And what do you wish they ask instead? Like, is there anything like people keep asking you and you wish they don't ask this question from me anymore? Is
How
there
is it? How is it? Everybody keeps asking, how is it? How is it? How is the flower shop doing? How is it? How is it?
So monetary is what they
So
want to know about.
I'm like, if it was or if it isn't, it is my problem, right? Uh, how is it? How is it? It's everybody's problem. But now it's like,
I know.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
you
what
get
people
used
really
to,
need to
yeah,
understand.
yeah.
It's not just a bit about the surface level stuff. There is so much depth to what you do. Thank you for redirecting that conversation to what really matters, Ka. So I just wanted to ask about everyone talks about always about work-life balance. Like, is this perfect 50-50 split?
There
But
is no perfect
yeah, but
50-50.
what does balance actually look like for you? And does it look the same every day?
No, guy. It is a battle. You can't call it a battle. Initially, it may look like a battle, but you will figure out the work life balance. You will figure out. You will know your priorities. And it's like 16 years. So,
Yeah,
women, as women, we are empowered to uh, do multitasking.
yeah,
Multitasking means not
yeah.
multitasking, one task at a time, multiple tasks perfectly.
That's
It's
so
like not like
beautiful, Ka. People think multitasking means doing 10 things at the same
it's at
time.
a time.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is like multiple tasks, each at a time. Yeah. So, and as women, God is already blessed us with that ability.
yeah,
So, I don't think it will be a hassle if you are, and if you know your job very well, you will get it right, guy. That is like something every woman has it in her. Not woman.
yeah.
Everybody has it in them.
Everybody has it, especially women. Like,
Women, like, yeah,
yeah, we
since
are
since
born with
men
that multitasking
are
ability, I guess.
yeah.
So
It
that's
is
so
like,
refreshing actually to hear because I think the idea of balance, like as a static, perfect thing, is what makes so many people feel like they're failing. So your version where it shifts and flows, that's the real balance. And that's the honest one too, Ka. That's so beautiful. Thank you so
you
much
will
for
know
sharing.
what to take up when,
Mm.
what needs you
Yeah,
like
as
your
you said,
time.
the mommy moments you didn't miss. That was
Mm.
profound. Yeah, that was work-life balance. Exactly. We need to know which
And then when
when to
Mama
balance.
was in the hospital,
Okay.
uh, my store took a back seat. I was there full time. So you will figure out. Then God has his way of like, okay, she deserves it, let her have it. Mm.
Yeah, that's
He
right.
has the way of giving. Yeah. I
Yes, yes.
trust in the divine now. Yeah.
That's so beautiful and profound, Ka. Uh, Sometimes, like, do you ever feel guilty either for working too much or for not working enough? And how do you talk to yourself when that guilt shows up?
Yeah, I feel guilty when everybody's waiting for lunch. They'll call me and I will tell, I'm on, finishing. 5 minutes, 5 minutes, and my 5 minutes will always be half an hour, 1 hour. So the boys are now always telling Amma's 5 minutes is half an hour. So that part I am like now trying to make the 5 minutes as 5 minutes or make it as 15 minutes. Like, you never know. You will want to finish up, wrap up before you come. You will want to see the arrangement, how it looks. It's like not that you want to rush home before that. These small things, but it is totally worth it, guy. Everything you think back now, you have something to at least talk about, think about, smile. You age gracefully.
Yeah.
So it's like,
That's so nice, Ka. So that guilt
it's
is so real, actually. So people
it
think
is
like
real.
it is very real. And I love the way you told it. Not everybody says this. And I think every working person, especially mothers, carry the double-edged sword. Like, thank you for being honest about how you navigate it because I know that's going to resonate with so many people who are watching this podcast. So it is not like you shouldn't feel guilty about it. Of course, it is there. You acknowledge that there is a guilt, like
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
So I love that way
Uh,
you're.
into
So
Integrity,
beautiful.
the truth will eventually come up for the, so you are first honesty, integrity really plays a very, very important role for you being you. So you
Thank
have
you
to
so
love
much.
yourself, guy.
Thank you
So
for
you
being
have
you,
to be.
Ka. Thank you so much for being
Thank
you.
you
I'm
so much.
sure you're
Thank
going
you,
to impress
guy,
so
for
many people. Like so, and what time of the day or what part of your week is non-negotiable for you, Ka? The thing you protect no matter what is happening in the business. We spoke of a work-life balance, but is there any day?
I try Sundays
Okay.
mostly.
Okay.
But then if it is something urgent, an hour or two, I go
Okay.
to the store, or else Sundays I really try to be at home
Home.
and
Okay.
go for a family lunch, which is a ritual.
Okay. Okay.
Hopefully it continues. Yeah,
I'm sure. So I love that you have those boundaries demarcated because without them, business can consume everything in a
everything.
sky.
Yeah.
Even that Sundays it could be consumed. The one thing you protect, that's what keeps you whole. That's what keeps
Right.
you
The
there.
Monday is like a fresh start all over again, just
Yeah,
like school days. But if it is something important, or if I've taken an assignment, then
yeah. That needs to be
but
prioritized.
that's what it's not a fixed timetable. The
Okay.
business is also so, but I try my best to enjoy our family lunches, our family outings on Sundays when all at home. But now,
That's beautiful. That's beautiful as a ritual that you have to have a Sunday lunch together. That's lovely.
well,
Yeah.
we go, yeah.
So, is the akka at work the same as the akka at home, or do you shift between versions of yourself? And if you do, what does that feel like? Like you need to remove a handbag and come at home,
Yes.
step into a different gap?
Yeah. Actually, I feel it's the same guy because it's not a very stressful business, though. It's just that sometimes everywhere you really have pressures and timelines. Mm, eh, at that time, my florists only know me. They will ask, Madam, you're not in a good mood or because of the time, and they will figure out.
Okay.
And it's been like, I have those boys around me now for 13, 14 years. So by now, they know what I'm very, very, yeah.
So just your
What
eye
to say?
movement, they can understand what
They will know that if they are, so it's like you will figure out, yeah.
yeah. So it's like you're almost the same both at home and
It's almost the same,
so
guy.
you
And
just
one
need
or
it
two
where
days,
it's different
yeah,
temps.
1 or 2 days you have those pressures, like when you have to deliver something on time, when
Mm.
events you have to complete on time. But
So that is okay.
by
That it
now,
just means
now that you know, yeah, now that you
yeah.
know, and there also it's only happy talking customers. You get to
Mm.
know. Yeah, it's only since it's flowers. It's just like most of it is happy moments. They want to give it to their fiance,
Yes,
their wife, and
yes.
so you
So
always listen to happy stories. It's like something nice,
that's so nice
and
surrounded
it's
with
not
beautiful.
repetitive. It's not the
Ah,
same old boring stuff.
that's
Each
nice.
one different story. And before this
Exactly.
printer thing, we had to write messages for these
Ah,
online. That
okay.
was something very, very interesting where
A handwritten
what
note
we
was
were
so beautiful.
a handwritten note with all these nice, nice messages where they will want to send it to their boyfriends and girlfriends. What you've never done in college, you get to write all that. But
That's
now,
so
thanks to
lovely.
age
That's so
and
beautiful. Loving
now,
this.
thanks to age and the printing machines, also now you have printers,
So
and
you
I'm
don't need to
not
do
that.
it anymore.
You don't need that anymore. Yeah,
I didn't expect this. I thought people will write their own wishes, but I didn't know
we
that.
have this. We have this online delivery guy, so anybody can send it.
Oh, okay, 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 okay.
So
Got
we
that.
have it in our panel.
Okay.
So that is like something very, very interesting. We deliver. Ours is an omni channel. They call it where you have offline and online.
Okay. Okay.
That is why we withstood COVID, guy.
Ah,
COVID online deliveries just picked up. So that was, yeah.
thanks to COVID.
Mhm.
So, how do you rest, Ka? Like in a day, not just sleep, I mean, but actually resting? Do you follow any physical or mental practices to keep yourself on track? Because I see Akilaka, the same person right from school till now, you're just looking the same. As you said,
Ah,
aging gracefully. But how do
gray
you,
hairs, healthy weight, all that. That's
but how
okay,
do you
guy.
take
But
care of yourself
one
physically,
thing is
mentally?
one habit that I've still held on from school is from the eighth standard from France is that Sri Ram Jayam one line what I write
Okay.
every day.
Okay.
That practice I've held on, guy. That
Okay.
5-10 minutes of those books now what that was what amma was like when you're very stressed or it wasn't it was just that time you take that breath or you have that me time that 10 minutes of complete silence and concentration. It really rewires your brain, gives you that peace and calm to go about the day. And then I do it in the puja room. So you have to have your bath, get ready, the discipline. So
Uh,
that is all stuck in, guy. That is how. And
that
being
is
in a joint family, you won't take it for granted. So it is all thanks to all that. Now that I'm still, yeah, what?
Yeah. So that's so important, isn't it, Ka? And and I love that what you found what works for you, those small rituals that restore you. So they're not luxuries actually. They're necessities. Like everybody needs to
Necessities.
have
Yeah.
their own ritual. Like whatever resonates with them, they need to follow, stick
Yeah.
on to the rituals and keep doing it consistently. And as you mentioned, graphotherapy, I love the way that you said you write every day and that rewires the subconscious. That's so true, so true. As I know how it resonates with me as well. Thank you so much, Ka. Loved it. Love the ritual that you're following every day to rest and restore your mental and physical peace.
That
And
is like something I'm grateful to you also, Guy, because when
you.
I started writing pages, it was just like a school kid doing homework. I will look forward to writing my
That's so nice.
graph.
You were so consistent every day. Like you used to ask me, like, what is
Yeah,
this? What is that? Should I do writing? And you're so beautiful a student, I should say. Thank you so much, Ka, for trusting in me. And coming back to our topic, like, has there ever been a flower arrangement you created or delivered that moved you so much? What was the story behind it? Just something which moved you so very much.
moved me in the sense it was the grandeur or some.
No, Ka, it could
Purpose.
be a very simple bouquet. It could be something very simple, but something which stood in your memory until now, like somebody
It
like,
was Nalnika from Arabindo Society. She will always come pick flowers for a mother
okay,
every
okay,
time when she comes to the store. That was one time. Then I like really felt let the store also get the blessings, and I was like, I just made a small arrangement, all white flowers by
okay,
myself, and gave it to her to get mother's blessings. And I told her this is Aura Flora, and
okay,
she gave me a big explanation for the Aura Flora, the name, and all that.
okay.
And that was one moment which I will forever remember, and I was grateful for being with flowers.
Oh, that's beautiful, Ka. The magic you create, isn't it? Like you're not just arranging flowers, you're holding people's hearts in your hands, actually. So those moments, that's
Thank
why
you
you
guys
get
for
those
making
moments.
me feel so good. It's just that I would like to say a simple thing like what everybody says now, what your thoughts become your deeds, actions, wishes, and that becomes your destiny.
Yeah,
It's just that I resonate with that so much now. You just have to wish well and for all around you, and you get better. That is how it is. That is how it works.
that's so
I
powerful.
personally feel, yeah.
That's so powerful. So you work with something that can't speak, but somehow says everything, isn't it, Ka?
Yeah. So if
Like,
you see any birthday party, any arrangement, nice to be a part of everybody's celebrations.
yeah, yeah. Either in their pictures,
Yeah.
you are still there in
Yeah.
their memories always, right?
Yeah.
In a wedding attire, they all there with that mala and everything, and you're still there in their
Thank
memories, in their biggest day
you.
everywhere. So, what have flowers taught you about communication that words haven't?
Flowers is something nowadays. It's like now with nobody wants to go empty-handed. No, guy. Nowadays,
Mhm.
like with everybody, our lifestyle going up now. Nobody wants to greet somebody or wish somebody, and with now gold and silver prices escalating,
Yeah.
budget constraints, you could take everything into consideration. Flowers is an option, is a convenient option, and it is something very nice also. So
So, about communicating, like you can communicate with
you
flowers.
can
That's beautiful.
communicate anything, and flowers is something you don't even have to express. You just have to hand over,
Just give
right?
it. Yeah, that means
You just
everything.
have to, and it just brings a smile.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
a smile, a nice curve. And that eventually straightens out all things. Yeah. So it's
Yeah, it
something
speaks in a
that
language just
it is,
beyond
yeah,
words, isn't it, Ka?
yeah.
So that is what,
Of
like,
bunch. That's what they usually say, no? A hand that holds the rose. It's like something very nice. It's a subtle way of
yeah,
communicating
and
that.
sometimes like some words like we can't find the courage to say, and we
Ah,
become fluent in that language, like giving that flowers, something you
yes.
can't express like
It breaks
flowers
the
away.
ice also. Like it, you will have, and now flowers like for every occasion.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, that's
You're
the
there.
first.
So
Yeah,
you are
yeah,
there
yeah.
everywhere.
So it's like,
So, any customer like whose story you carry with you, Ka, not necessarily like you've already spoken about this, but the one who reminded you why you're doing this. Some customer comes to your
they
mind.
come to me. There was this young boy. He came and asked for a bunch of flowers because he's going to meet a girl at the
Okay.
temple.
Okay.
And then he wants to give this to her the minute she says yes. And he was like, all my friends told me, go get it from here and she will definitely say yes. And
Oh,
that was one moment where you are very
oh.
grateful for, like, yeah,
That's so nice, isn't it? Ka?
somebody's
You've
like,
created that
yeah.
kind of a vibe. Now that, see, all the youngsters listening to this podcast, now Valentine's Day coming up, Akila Akka is there if you want your girl to say yes, please get into
Now,
Ferns and Petals, and I will share the store details with you in the description.
this was
Stories like,
something real, guy.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I
it
know.
happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now that you've created a legacy like that, there are so many people who are going to come into your store. So for all the goodwill that you've created for a girl to say yes now.
Thank you so much for you trusting in me.
That's so
I
nice. Ka.
really didn't think I will be sitting and talking like professionally with you. It was,
Yeah, we've
I'm
been
very
friends
grateful
for
to
so many
you.
years, relatives.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
sharing this, you give so much of information, and I'm in awe of how much you've done so far, the journey that you've been through. So I want to know if you were a flower, what would you be? I don't want that pretty answer. I want that honest one, the one that captures both the beauty and the thoughts. What is a flower that will represent you as you?
My all-time favorite is the traditional mullapu guy.
Okay, so
Any
Mullapu is you, the
mullapu is
person.
me. Yeah,
Okay,
mullapu. Yeah.
okay.
Uh, 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 Even before the flower store, I was like always very, very fond of wearing flowers, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, so Mullapu is your favorite and it will replicate you
Mullapu,
as a person
yeah.
also.
Mullapu, yeah.
Okay.
The good old times. So all in after all the fancy anything, it is only mullapu. Like how Thai sadam is all time favorite, so mullapu is all time favorite.
Yeah, it's
The
something
pasta
comfort food.
pizza, the pasta pizza will all be there, but it will be eventually Thai sadam. So the
Wow.
lily, orchid, everything is there. Each one a beauty of its own, but ultimately it is mullapu.
So the honest and humble person that you are is the Mullapu is the way you are. Ka. So love that answer. Love the way you are talking about it. So who believed in you before you believed in yourself? And do they know how much that mattered? Have you told them about it?
My family was like very, very supportive.
Okay.
They they believed and they let me go. Yeah, one thing was like I really have to appreciate parents, both my in-laws and my parents,
Mm.
Shekarana.
Mm.
Yeah, for all of them for letting me do and letting me be what I am. They never wanted me to change or they never wanted me to be the prim, proper, sophisticated, like they
Mm.
just let me be the me that I am. So
That's beautiful, Carl.
that
Those
is
people.
something which I always, yeah. And when the boys grew up, they were also like happy that their mom was working. So when you're surrounded, when your family is supportive, no, the magic happens. Yeah. You know, family is supportive. So whoever teases you, bullies you, it
Mm.
all takes a back seat. When you know, yeah.
Yeah. So those
That
people
I
like,
will,
mm. Yes,
that I
please.
would really like to acknowledge. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
My
This is very,
sister, Anita, also
yeah, I know.
always like, she was like, yeah. So I would like to,
It's so nice to have a family support like that. Those people who see something in us before we can see it in ourselves. They are so precious.
uh,
So I hope
yeah.
they know
I'm very,
their belief in us.
I was always telling Amma that guy,
Okay.
thank you. Thank you for giving me Anita because anything she would like, you can do it, Ka, you can do it, Ka.
Ah,
That made a lot of difference. Even if it was a tiny arrangement or anything, it was like I will show her a video call before I give it
so sweet.
to
That's so sweet of
that
you, Ka.
person. Yeah.
So sweet. Thank you, Anita. Thank you. Thank you, Anna,
Mhm.
Shekarana, and the children, and the new addition to the family, Nikila. Thank you.
Yeah, Nikila is now coming to the store, guy, with
Okay, so
me.
that's so nice, Nikila. So that's lovely of you to join Atte. And thank you, everyone in the family, for giving Akila Akka to us, for allowing her to do whatever she's doing it as a passion. And so, is there any relationship shift after you became an entrepreneur, either for the better or worse in any relationships? Like you've been before becoming the Akilaka with Ferns and Petals, and how do you navigate with that? Like, is there any relationship shift that you had between anybody? It could be, you need not mention names, but is there any?
I don't think there is anything
There is
because
no
this is not
relationship. So that's how you
big.
beautifully managed your relationship
It was
before and
just like
after.
it was. This I don't think that because this is no big deal. It wasn't a big thing that
So
you had to
somebody
hold
somewhere
on.
they might have shifted their relationship with you. So you might have felt that now that Akila is not the same. So somebody like people talking about now she's become this, she's not the same. Is there anything like that? I want.
That it doesn't come to your ears. Maybe I
That's
haven't
nice
heard
that
of
it doesn't
yeah.
come to our ears.
Yeah,
So
that is
because success
okay. Yeah,
sometimes changes relationships, not always
yeah.
for the
But
worse, but it does change them. It does change them. Um,
nothing that I've heard of, guy.
okay,
Maybe.
that's nice, Ka. You've navigated through it so well, I guess, that you've had a balance in all your
No,
relationships.
not that. Not that I've navigated. It's just that I didn't have the time to discuss or I was always kept busy and it was
Busy. So you
yeah.
couldn't,
So I
yeah,
didn't get
that's
to
so
do
nice.
all the tiny things. Yeah, maybe.
Exactly. So all you've put it under the
Yeah.
carpet, all those tiny things have gone, brushed it away.
Let it brush this away. You don't take it all into heart because you can't look into the major things. Yeah. So the bus is always there. You just
True,
have
true.
to, yeah, that's okay. Nothing worth mentioning, maybe. I can't say it is not there at all, but nothing worth
Worth
mentioning
it.
because the
So
larger
don't give
picture
it that
really
good
matters. Yeah.
importance, you should say. Okay,
The
that's so nice.
larger picture really matters. Yeah.
So beautiful, Ka. Well said, well said. What's that one thing you never do in business, coming to values, ethics, even if it meant more profit or more success? You will never do. Akila, will never do this in business means what is it that one thing that you will never do?
I will never like the integrity, guys. That
Okay.
one thing is like you will, if I don't do now, they also don't do. You forget something, an order that you forget, you acknowledge with grace, say sorry, and get it
Mm.
done, but never cover up like for the mistake.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And even if somebody had told me an order and I forgot, I will own up and say, yeah, I forgot to inform them. So
Mm.
once or twice when I say, the store manager, my florist, they too now follow fully. Like
Okay.
now even they say Bhagavan dekenge na. I will tell them, you tell or don't tell. God is looking. So now even they say Bhagavan dekenge, Bhagavan dekenge. So it's
That's
like
so nice.
something
Yeah,
you
so
never
nice.
cover up. You never
Nice
cover up.
listening to that,
Yeah.
because I've heard so many people say about so many things that they value as ethics, but this integrity, that's what separates a business from a legacy. Like you've drawn that line and you've never crossed it. That,
You do it, then the others follow, guy.
yeah,
That you
that's
set the
character
rules.
actually.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
your character, and that's what
You
you're
set
trying to
you
replicate in
set the role, then yeah, that is how.
not just
That's one thing you own up. Yeah,
an
things.
ideal. It's just your character that's showing up, and thank you for being that person. And you're in a perishable commodity, isn't it, Ka? You're in a
Yeah.
business which is a very perishable commodity, flowers. What could be the biggest mistake one could make in your business? Like somebody wants to do this business tomorrow, or do you have one that really hurt if you have ever made one? And what did it teach you that success never
You
really could?
you will not know how much you require, or you like this is all like flowers, and if somebody doesn't take it, then you have no other option. It's just like that, guy.
Hmm.
Like how in the
Okay.
food industry, at least you can stock up. This flowers just die. So it's
Mm.
like you have to be very careful with your
Mm.
orders, and it is a very it's all working on thin margins. Like two
Mm-mm.
rotten flowers, or then you are like,
You're losing the entire, like for the whole day
yeah,
or something.
there,
Okay.
yeah. It's
Okay.
and all our florists are from West Bengal, so
Okay.
you flower making is in their hands, guys. So trained florists. So you have to give them food, accommodation, your
Mm.
overheads, and you're
Okay.
in a premium location. So
Mm.
you have to
Rentals,
take into consideration all that. So
everything. Mm.
you have to be very careful with your stock. Yeah.
Okay. So that's so nice, Ka. That's the business aspect. I didn't even think about it. That yeah, you have so much to work on it. So, has there been any a time where you turned down a business because something didn't feel right with somebody? Have you said no to
Yeah,
anybody?
some 7, 8 years.
Okay.
And then it wasn't right when our florists weren't given due respect, and
Okay.
they were pressurized to do the timings and all that. So
So you
that
had to
was
say no.
when we decided more than
Even if it was
anything.
big business, you had to say no.
Yeah, it is. Let us say no and graciously withdraw instead of like you don't want to
Okay.
get your hands. Yeah.
Okay.
You have to
So,
keep into consideration people who work for you. They matter most. Yeah,
your
their
personal.
mental health, yeah, stress. I didn't want to, guys. So
Okay.
that was
So
one
even if it
thing.
meant big business, you didn't want to
Mm,
compromise on
yeah,
personal.
yeah. We were doing a five-star hotel, but
Yeah,
then
that's
even if
amazing.
it was a five-star hotel, but then
It's amazing. It's amazing,
it
Ka.
was
So
something we had
you
to.
know your boundaries. You know whom to prioritize. Like, yeah,
Mm,
that's amazing.
eventually, how long can you hold on? You will like when you
Yeah,
think it's not worth it, then you will just let it go, right? Yeah.
true, true. So when someone walks into your shop, they might come for a bouquet, but what else can you create for them other than flowers?
We
Talk
have
me through everything you offer.
gifts. Uh, we have now in-house cakes, also
Oh,
flowers and lot of gifts, plants now. Now
mm,
that we have a lot of plants, and then gifting articles, small curios, toys,
okay.
glass vases.
So nice.
We deliver emotions. That's what is our
So beautiful. That's
so
so
Ferns
beautiful.
Petals, the tagline is we deliver emotions. So
No.
anything with it. And now we are all working on something they like big personalized items. They send a picture, you make a cushion cover with
Oh,
their picture, all those personalized items like
people
a
who are
glass bottle
listening,
on the
just listen to what Akka is saying. You can even get
they
personalized
go to the
items delivered.
website, they will know.
So visit
fnp.com. Yeah.
fnp.com and you are there and you know what to gift your loved ones
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
Valentine's Day that's coming up. So that's why people trust you with most important moments, Ka. Your tagline means everything. So, so did you always like offer everything you do now, or did services grow as your customers'
The
needs grew?
personalized, the company grew and so do we. That
Okay.
is how. The
Okay.
personalized gifts, and that is the biggest advantage of working with, for, as a franchisee of Ferns and Petals. We grow
Okay.
together, like, yeah,
So
the
you listened to
interior.
what your customers wanted and you evolved like
It's
to meet
pan
them there.
India, so it's
Mm.
all over India. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
as the season, so
Mm.
they change in all our products. The florists
Okay. So everything
are all
shifts.
taken care of. Yeah,
Okay,
so
okay,
it's
okay.
all updated,
Okay.
and so that is how the franchisee, the perks and benefits of being a franchisee of a big company is,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah. So
you grow together. Yeah, so that's something.
that's nice. That's nice. So if the Akka, the first started this business, could see you now. So that Akka who started could see you now. What would surprise her? So 2010 Akila Akka, if she sees whom you are now, what would surprise her? What would make her proud?
Uh, surprise her is like something which I never imagined sitting and talking. This is the first surprise and holding on. Yeah, I never knew that I could, like, what come may. The, I would have held on to this
Okay.
passion, which is now become my all time.
Okay. So
And
that would have been it.
this is an honest answer, guy. I never knew I will be sitting across like this and discussing professionally with you.
Thank you,
This is
Kasu.
a
I
great
never knew
surprise.
I would be having a podcast with you. My first ever podcast, my first ever interview with
I never,
anybody.
the
I never
same thing.
imagined it would be you,
It's
and I
the
never ever.
first time for both of us, guys.
Yes,
So it's
Ka, that's
like
so nice.
something,
It'll
yeah,
always live in our memories, like whatever we've done
yeah.
today. And yeah, tell me about your team, Ka. Whether it's a bouquet or an entire wedding, you can't do it alone. So, what do they mean to you?
I'm very grateful to the team, guy. They've withstood me for so many years. Yeah.
Okay.
So my store manager Nisha, she came when she was newly married. Now she has two children.
Okay.
She went for maternity leave, and
Mm.
then now she's back.
Mm.
She took off for maternity leave in
Okay.
that, and then there was Parameshwari. Now she has gone on maternity leave.
Okay.
So without these helping hands, initially it was just me and Satya.
Mm.
She would go, Satya would go in the morning, I would go in the afternoon
Okay.
because Aditya had afternoon shift.
Okay.
And then we could afford a store manager.
Mm.
And then it was just one florist. Now we have four. It's just like
Beautiful.
step by step, step by step. Yeah. And then a cake store we have, and our delivery heroes. Yeah. Our delivery.
Yeah. To deliver just single rows or whatever it.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have four of them all in house. So it's like I'm grateful to my team.
Team.
Without them, yeah, I can never. Work life balance would be impossible because with kids and home to
Thank you.
manage.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Team Ferns and Petals in Coimbatore. Lovely. So, yeah, I love the way that Ka trusts in you, and you've been with her for so many years. That itself shows like you've built a team that shares your vision, also, Ka. So, that cares as deeply as you. It's very difficult to find it these days, especially. So, somebody who carries your vision, somebody who cares just like how you do. So that's very difficult. Thank you. Thank you. Uh, and what's that compliment somebody gave you that landed deeper than any other? That one made you feel truly seen? Somebody who complimented.
They appreciated the flowers so much, guys. So it's like
Every
they
day,
love the
everywhere you
flowers.
receive
Yeah,
compliments.
and it can, I so much look to Vijika. They all do flowers here. Vijay Rudrapan,
Okay.
Sunita Ka, yeah,
Mm.
all of them. Then Nandinika. I got to know all of them personally because of the flowers, guys. So when you get compliments from the correspondent of the
Oh,
college you studied from, that's a big thing you really
yes.
cherish for. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, even
So
when you're invited by somebody to a college where you're studying, it's exactly like that, isn't it, Ka?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly like
So
that. Somebody.
that's all something which I will forever, yeah,
Okay.
be grateful to the flower store. Yeah.
So when somebody receives flowers from you, what do you hope they feel? Like not just happy, but deeper, what do you hope your work
I
means to
really
their life?
feel that whatever, because they take it for all happy occasions,
Mm,
wish them luck and may this may the flowers bring them what they desire. That is what wish you will always
so
want to
deep.
give. No, yeah, yeah.
So your blessings are there always with
And
them
it will
with
be
the
for
flowers.
newborns,
Mhm.
openings. Most of it you will want the for and store opening and weddings.
Mm.
It will be like you will always want to wish well
Good
for
luck.
them.
Ah,
Mm.
that's so nice, Ka.
For the occasion, yeah.
Whatever be the occasion, let it
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
bloom as the flower is blooming.
Plus, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's
Something
so
like
nice. So if a young woman or a man could be from our hometown or anywhere who's watching this podcast came to you or is texting you somewhere asking, I want to start my own business, but I'm scared. What would you tell them? Not the motivational truth,
fear is
speech kind,
not a
the
motivation.
real
Fear
truth
is
I want.
real. Fear
Mm.
is real, but only when you can conquer fear will you be able to see the view. Yeah, that is something. Small steps, guy. Learn the trade very well. Get confident. When you keep on doing it, no, guy, you really tend to start believing that you can do it. Yeah. Fake it and you will make it. That is what they say. Keep
Mm.
smiling, and you really keep smiling.
True.
Baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. And finally, before you realize, you will be on the top. The view is magnificent.
Yes, the view
There
at the
will be
top.
slips, there will be falls. Acknowledge it with grace,
Mm.
but just get up, brush it up, and keep walking. Fear is real, guy. But once you start acknowledging it, then you start enjoying.
That's
Yeah.
the truth
The
everyone needs to
anything.
hear, Ka.
Yeah.
So
There
it's
is
not
nothing without a fault. There is you cannot you cannot achieve in one day. So
mm,
you have to go through the
just
storm.
that fear doesn't go away. You just
Yeah,
really need to learn to work with
yeah.
it.
Learn to sail with it. You have to go through the storm,
Mm,
but then ultimately you will realize it is all worth it.
yes.
Just don't give up. That's it. Whatever it is. It is a basic mantra, what we always learned in school.
Mm, mm. Yes, Ka.
Perseverance, patience, yeah. Just don't give up. Yeah.
That's so
That is
beautiful.
what I
So
would like to say. Yeah.
that is what will inspire someone to take their first step, or somebody who's already into their business, who's at the
Mm.
verge of giving up. Your words will mean so much more.
Yeah.
So,
What people say it is like don't take advice or suggestions from people who haven't been in your shoes.
mm,
Only you know what you've been through.
exactly. Exactly.
And you must be prepared to be laughed at, guy. You must be able to take criticism.
Yes.
That all comes as a package. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
rightly
okay.
said, Ka.
That's with your faults.
So you said, right, acknowledging integrity, readiness to accept criticism, your slips and falls, they are all real. It's all real. It's
Oh,
all
yeah.
part of
It's like
any
it's
business
not
that
an
you're in.
Insta reel.
Yeah, it's
Life is
not a
not an
highlighted
easy
Insta reel,
journey.
yes, rightly
Yeah.
said. Yeah. It's not like everything looks rosy there when you get inside. Of course, you're going to see so much.
You must see the back, the edits of the reel before they put the reel, the takes of the reel before
Yes,
they
that is the real
the
reel,
finishing.
actually.
That is the real reel.
This
Yeah,
is all
yeah.
real, and the real is somewhere else. Yes, Ka. The real is different, the real is different, rightly
Yeah.
said. Yeah. If you could, like, maybe send a message to somebody who's watching this, not about business, not about success, but about being human. The humanness is what we are losing these days. What would you want them to know?
Just want them to know what goes around comes around. Right? That is very, very. You give it to somebody, somebody is going to give it back to you. It is not like the good old days. What they say, you help someone else, somebody helps your kid. So it's like then you really have to be a good human being,
Amazing,
and
amazing.
your child, when are you have better than what you came, when you leave the place better than what you came, and when your child hears your mother was a great lady, that is a great legacy you can leave behind. The pride, the children have to be proud of you. What a mother she was, or what a
Wow.
woman she was. That is something which you will have to be real to earn it. No, you can't fake
It's
that,
such a
guy.
profound statement you've given, Ka. As rightly you can call it karma or whatever it is, what goes back.
I don't know
Yeah,
anything
you
what
can
of
name it
now.
whatever you want, you can name it. It's all a boomerang effect. Like you give it, it comes back to you again. So
Mm.
we give it as blessings. What you keep giving every
Because,
day, you keep giving blessings to people.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what is keeping you blessed, I guess, Ka. So we've come to almost the end of the podcast now. So if you want, you want to share or you want to thank somebody you haven't thanked yet or haven't thanked enough. Like though you have a boutique, maybe you haven't thanked them enough with flowers or with your words. Who needs to hear it, Ka? You can say it here. They might be listening or watching.
And like first and foremost, guy, honestly, thank you for getting me out of my
Ka,
shell. I
thank you.
never knew I could
Thank
do
you.
this at all, and sit here, and it was something. This is a surreal new moment. I should really tell you that I never knew I could sit and talk for a podcast, or it wasn't in my bucket list ever, but something that you've created for me. Thank you, guy, for believing in me before I believe in myself.
Thank you so much, Ka,
And
for trusting in me. It's mutual
yeah, that is
because
like
I never
something.
knew I'll be doing
Honestly,
your
it's
podcast.
just, yeah, yeah. It is like uh, that is what now I keep believing, and I'm really grateful to.
You honors your answers were so true, so honest. It just came right from the heart, just like the flowers that
The
come.
whole,
Just so fresh
the
it
whole
was.
people, guy, Amma, Ati, Satya, Anita, all of them really played very, very important role because if not for them, I wouldn't be sitting here, no. And
Mm.
now thankful to Nikila for enjoying flowers as much as I do, guy. That is
So there's
something which
somebody who's
yeah,
come like
yeah.
take up
I'm
your
like so grateful. Like she is like taken like a fish adapts to water. She
mm,
just comes to the store. So I'm like
beautiful.
really grateful to her for like all these years of what you've put in. No, you
Mm.
feel okay. Somebody enjoys it as much as you do. That's a blessing. So
Yeah, yes, Ka. I hope they know how much they are meant to your journey. And I know this podcast, this moment is you giving back to everyone who gave to you.
yeah.
And Akka has always been used to giving flowers. Now that she's saying it with words. So I'm sure all of you listening in the family, everywhere around, please take it as a gratitude. And it's so happy, Akka. Thank you for this beautiful conversation. Actually, it's not an interview kind. So,
Yeah.
and you've
Very true,
shared
guy. I
15
also
years.
didn't at all feel like it's an interview, and somebody who I know from childhood you've seen me without any filters, the
Yeah.
name, how we
Both of
shared
us
a
have
room
seen
and
each other
something.
without any
So
filter.
it's like, yeah, something very nice. And it's a privilege that I could at least take,
Thank you so much, Ka. Thank you
discuss
so much.
all these with you. It's
Yeah.
just like me reliving those 16 years, guys. So
Hmm.
thank you so much.
Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that 15 years of 16 years of building, learning,
The
falling,
pleasure is
especially
all mine. If it
rising.
helps a few people also, it would be my big, deepest
Yeah.
gratitude and achievement that somebody benefited out of this.
That is what
So,
actually I plan to do these podcasts in future as well, Ka. So this wasn't just about flowers or business. This was about resilience, about showing
yeah,
up, about building
yeah.
something with your own hands and your own heart, actually. And for everyone listening, take what Akka has shared with you, whether you're starting a business or just trying to find your path. Let her story remind you that everything is possible. That's worth it and that you can do it too. Until we meet in another episode, Akka, thank you so much. Deep,
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for
deep
having me over,
gratitude
guys.
for being
The
here.
feeling is mutual, guy.
It's lovely, Ka. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. We will meet in another interesting episode with yet another personality. So, this was so honest a discussion that we had so long. And thank you for listening till the end. And deep gratitude to each and everyone who's here watching this. Please do share it with someone who really needs this, to really needs to listen to Akka. So, thank you so much. Deep gratitude.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Ka.
guys. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.